Imagine your daily life or even the future without technology. Maybe life would feel slower, harder, and very different from what we know today. So good day, Professor X, and good day, classmates. We are the Group 5, and today we'll be diving into digital humanity, a space where we explore the intersection of technology and humanity. But before we dive into our topic, allow me to introduce myself first. I am James Reyes, together with my partner, Mr. Andrea Binales. And just like a good Spotify playlist, we're joined by four navigators who will set the right rhythm and will guide you track by track into a deeper understanding of our topic. Mr. Abinales, would you like to introduce our navigators?
Yes, of course. So now let me introduce the slayable navigators of our group, Miss Ang, Miss Ashley, Miss Lado, and lastly Miss Baflor. And together we'll unpack how technology and humanity can either meet or clash, and most importantly, how we as creators and citizens can help steer that intersection toward a more just and sustainable future.
As you can see in our homepage, you will first find the ILOs, which outline what you are expected to learn and achieve by the end of this topic. At the end of the session, learners should be able to first understand the fundamental relationship between science, technology, society, and how they influence one another. Number two is critically analyze technological advancement, ethical, social, and cultural implication of human life. Number three is examine the role of technology in addressing global challenges such as sustainability and inequality. Number four is explore the historical development of science and technology and its implication of shaping modern societies. And number five is develop informed perspective on the responsible use and regulation of emerging technologies in various sectors of society. Following that, you will see an overview of the topic, giving you a clear introduction to its main points. It's saying that technology and humanity are now connected and affect how we live, talk, and each other. And grow, it's like so Spotify brings people together with music in the same way this project wants to use technology to connect people, inspire them, and help everyone understand and care of each other.
So, about our website. Our website explores the beautiful harmony between innovation and human values, proving that technology isn't just wires and screen, but also a force that can empower, inspire, and connect. Our goal is simply to show that technology is not just about machines, but about creating real impact in people's lives. We chose a Spotify theme because Spotify connects people through music. Also, we want our website to connect audiences through an engaging and relatable design. In this website, you will discover three sections, including the information, references, and the creators. And now, let's dig into the library. This is where you will find the three navigations or sections that I mentioned earlier.
Uh, but before we continue with our discussion, let me introduce first the creators. Uh, Janandro Binales, Micaela Ang, Miss Antaso, Mr. Mark Reedy Guzman, Miss Aurora Leido, Mr. James Reyes, Miss Rosal, and lastly Miss Baflor.
Let's now first talk about technology. The word technology comes from the Greek word techne, meaning art, and logos, meaning word. At first, it was linked to art, but over time its meaning expanded to include tools, machine, and innovations, until it became what we now call technology. Today, it touches nearly every part of our lives, whether we notice it or not. Most of us depend on it daily as it helps us finish our tasks faster, makes our life more convenient, and improves both our work and leisure time. Humanity advances, so does technology, and that comes with ethical concerns. Over reliance can affect how we live, think, and interact with others. While it gives us incredible benefits, too much dependence can also be harmful. The key is balance, using technology to improve our lives without letting it control us. Let's now talk about human rights. Human rights are not something that people have to earn. They are inherent to every single individual. These are the basic entitlements that each of us has, simply because we are human beings. What's important to understand is that human rights apply to everyone equally, regardless of nationality, gender, ethnicity, skin color, religion, language, or social status. They are also inalienable, which means they cannot just be taken away. Let me highlight two important examples. First one is right to life. Every person has the right to live, to be free, and to feel safe. Governments cannot simply take away life, they are obligated to protect it. Next one is equality before the law. All people must be treated equally under the law. No one can be favored and no one should be discriminated. Let's now talk about the harmony of technology and humanity. Humanity, technology and humanity today form a complex relationship. Innovations like smartphones, AI, and the internet have transformed communication, healthcare, and industries. But this progress also raises questions about ethics, identity, and society itself. As technology continues to shape our daily lives, it, it changes not only how we work and communicate, but also how we build relationships and engage with the world. Now, when it comes to science and technology, several, several important documents guide us. First is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or UDHR. It affirms everyone's right to enjoy and benefit from scientific progress while being protected from its misuse. Second, the UNESCO recommendation on the status of scientific researchers. It reminds us that science and technology must always and serve the well-being of all people. Third is the UNESCO Declaration on the Use of Scientific Knowledge. It highlights the role of science and sustainable development, arguing urging support for research, education, and innovation, especially in developing countries. We need human rights-based approach to science and technology. Human, meaning human rights should guide innovation from the start. This way, progress can benefit everyone, protect dignity, and help build a fair society. That's all.
And now, let's click the main topic button. For main topic number 1, let me give you a quick summary. A fundamental relationship of science, technology, and society. The relation between science, technology, human rights, and development is deeply interconnected and constantly evolving. Technological advancement have greatly improved aspects of daily life, enhancing communication, healthcare, education, and global connectivity. However, these benefits come with serious concerns including privacy issues, job displacement, social and economic inequality, and the erosion of fundamental freedoms. Technologies like artificial intelligence and social media demonstrate the double-edged nature of innovation, offering solutions to complex problems while also raising ethical questions about fairness, accountability, and the impact on human relationships and behavior. As scientific discoveries continue to drive technological change at a rapid pace, society must respond thoughtfully to the consequences. The lack of ethical and legal frameworks to keep up with this growth poses a significant challenge. Addressing issues like climate change, overpopulation, and sustainable development requires a balance between innovation and responsibility. Ensuring fair access to digital tools, inclusive education, and strong public dialogue are key to guiding progress in a direction that benefits all. Ultimately, the future of development depends on using science and technology not just for advancement, but to uphold justice, equity, and human dignity.
As artificial intelligence and robotics become more advanced, it's important to think about more than just what these technologies can do. We also need to think about what they should do. Ethical, social, and cultural concerns must be addressed to make sure these technologies benefit everyone fairly and safely. Now we dive into ethical and social impacts of technology. Ethical issues surrounding AI and robotics should be approached in two main ways. First, system developers must remain conscious of potential and ethical risks, such as preventing misuse and ensuring that algorithms and systems remain open to human oversight. Second, as autonomous technologies advance, these systems themselves may need the capacity for ethical decision making to minimize harmful or unintended action. Um, for explanation, there are two main ways we need to approach ethics in AI. First, the people who build AI systems, just like programmers and us engineers. We need to think ahead about how their technology could be misused. They also need to make sure humans can always step in and take control if needed. Second, as AI becomes more autonomous, the systems themselves may need to be designed to make ethical choices, like avoiding harm or unfair actions, even without direct human input. Several societal and technological challenges may arise with the development of highly intelligent systems. Unemployment due to automation, increased automation could reduce available jobs and working hours, potentially concentrating wealth and benefits among a small elite rather than being shared across society. For further information, as robots and AI take over more jobs, especially repetitive or physical work, many people may find themselves unemployed or working fewer hours. This could lead to a situation where only a small group of people, usually those who own technology, benefit financially, while the rest of society struggles to keep up. Sharing the benefits of automation more fairly is a major challenge. Erosion of human skills. As robotics and digital technologies take over tasks once dependent on human knowledge, the need to exercise memory, reasoning, and decision making may decline. This could have long term consequences on how people engage with and adapt to their environment. So, for further explanation, as machines start doing tasks that used to require human thinking, decision making, memory, or problem solving, people may stop using these skills as much. Over time, this could lead to a decline in our ability to think critically or adapt to new situations. It could also affect how future generations learn and grow. Misuse of AI in surveillance. While technologies like surveillance cameras have practical benefits, advanced tracking powered by AI raises privacy concerns. For instance, interconnected systems combined with smartphone data could monitor individuals' movements and behaviors. For further understanding, AI is being used to make surveillance more powerful, while cameras and monitoring systems can help keep us safe. Combining AI with personal data from smartphones and other resources could allow governments or companies to track people's movements and behaviors in very detailed ways. This raises serious privacy concerns and could lead to abuse of power. Existential risk of AI. Like many powerful technologies, AI could be misused with catastrophic consequences if not properly controlled. Ensuring built-in safeguards against humans' error and system failure is critical to preventing large-scale harm, including extreme scenarios that threaten human itself. So for explanation, AI is very powerful tool. And like any powerful tool, it comes with risks. If we don't build strong safety features into these systems, AI could be misused in ways that cause large scale harm. In the most extreme cases, poorly controlled AI could even pose a threat to humanity itself. That's why it's essential to have rules and safety checks in place. Lastly, in addition to ethical and social concerns, it is also important to examine the cultural effects of AI and robotics. These technologies have the power to influence values, traditions, and individual as well as collective identities. For example, automation transform how societies view work by challenging the long-held idea that human labor is tied to dignity and purpose. Dependence on digital system can also alter cultural expectations about privacy, freedom, and trust, particularly in communities that emphasize collective responsibility and close social bonds. Furthermore, as AI technologies spread globally, they often promote dominant cultural norms, largely shaped by Western contexts, while placing local traditions and indigenous knowledge at risk. This trend toward cultural uniformity raises critical questions about how societies can protect cultural diversity and ensure that technology supports rather than erases unique ways of life. For understanding, AI and robotics don't just change how we work, they also affect how we think, what we value, and how we live together. For example, automation is challenging the traditional idea that work is tied to dignity and personal worth. At the same time, relying more on digital systems may change our views on privacy, freedom, and community values. Since most AI is developed in Western countries, it often reflects Western norms, which can unintentionally push aside local traditions and indigenous knowledge. This creates a risk of cultural uniformity, where diverse cultures are lost or replaced. It's important to make sure AI supports different ways of life rather than erasing them. For conclusion, as we move into a future shaped by AI and robotics, we must carefully consider their ethical, social, and cultural impacts, from protecting jobs and skills to respecting privacy and cultural diversity. These challenges require thoughtful planning, global cooperation, and ongoing public discussion. Only then can we ensure these technologies are used for the good of all. Now let's tackle technology's role in solving global issues. Technology is all around us. It is in our phones, homes, schools, hospital, and even in our farms and cities. But beyond the convenience it brings to our daily lives, technology has the power to help solve some of the world's biggest challenges. From protecting the environment to reducing inequality, technology can be a powerful force for good if we use it in the right way. Technology is a key component in solving the global challenges, specifically in sustainable development and inequality. Technology is like renewable energy, precision agriculture, and eco-friendly infrastructure minimize humanity's environmental footprint while providing resources for coming generations. At the same time, online platforms, telemedicine, and mobile payments offer marginalized communities access to education, health, and finance, illustrating how technology can become instruments of empowerment and inclusion. But technology's advantages are not automatic. It affects its effects are gaps are dependent on how human beings decide to utilize it. While progress can close gaps, its opposite effect is possible if access is restricted to particular groups, resulting in a digital divide. Such is the reason why ethical responsibility, inclusivity, and sustainable practices should influence technological advancement. For explanation, technology plays a big role in solving global problems like climate change and inequality. Clean energy, smart farming, and eco-friendly buildings help protect the environment for future generations. At the same time, online learning, telemedicine, and mobile banking give more people access to education, healthcare, and financial services. But technology only helps if it's used fairly. When some people are left out, it creates a digital divide. That's why it's important to develop and share technology in ways that are ethical, inclusive, and sustainable so everyone can benefit. Where technology meets humanity, innovation should not only be utilized for efficiency and convenience, but also to create a neutral, sustainability, and equitable world. For explanation, technology shouldn't just be about making things faster or more convenient. It should also help make the world fairer, more sustainable, and supportive of everyone's needs, not just a select few. In other words, technology should serve people, not the other way around. Technology plays a big role in solving problems that the world faces today. It supports sustainability by providing cleaner energy, better farming methods, and innovative ways to protect the environment. These advancements are important because they safeguard the planet for future generations. Technology also helps reduce inequality by making education and healthcare more accessible through online classes and telemedicine. Even mobile banking allows poor communities to participate more actively in the economy. Explanation: technology helps tackle serious global problems. For example, it offers cleaner energy, options like solar power, smarter ways to grow food, and methods to protect nature. These solutions are good for the environment for future generations. Technology also gives people in poorer or remote areas better access to education, healthcare, and banking, which helps reduce the gap between the rich and the poorer. Lastly, however, not everyone has access to these benefits. Many are left behind due to the lack of gadgets, internets, or digital skills, creating what is known as the digital divide. This highlights the need for technology to be developed and shared fairly so that all people can benefit. When used responsibly, technology has the potential to build a world that is more equal, sustainable, and just for everyone. For further information, the benefits of technology aren't reaching everyone. Some people don't have the internet, devices, or the skills to use digital tools. This creates a gap called the digital divide. To fix this, we need to make sure technology is shared fairly and responsibly. If we do that, it can help create a world that's more equal, green, and fair for all people. In conclusion, technology has the power to improve lives and protect the planet, but only if we use it with care, fairness, and purpose. It's up to us to make sure innovation doesn't just serve the few, but benefits everyone. Now we go to historical influence of science and technology. How robotics and AI continue a long story of change. The rise of robots and AI is just the latest chapter in a long history of technology, changing how we live and work. For example, during the Industrial Revolution, inventions like steam engine helped factory produce goods and faster than ever. This was great for productivity but also meant that many skilled craftsmen lost their job, which caused protests like Luddites in England. In 20th century, factories started using robots to help with work. Robots like Unimate made car production faster and safer, but also meant fewer human workers were needed. Later, robots moved into homes and hospitals with devices like Roomba vacuum cleaner, robotic pets, and surgical machine that helps doctor operate with great precision. These robots made life easier but also brought question about cost and who could afford such technology. Today, AI follows a similar pattern of change and disruption. AI tools like ChatGPT help with communication. Tesla's self-driving cars are changing transportation, and facial recognition improves security. This technology makes tasks faster and smarter, but also raises concerns about privacy, fairness, and who is responsible if something goes wrong. Beyond the economy, AI is also reshaping how we live together and see ourselves. Algorithms can influence election by targeting specific groups with ads. Social media powered by AI change how people form friendship and develop their identities. AI learning tools are changing education, helping students and teachers in new ways. Just like past invention transformed work and society today, robots and AI bring exciting progress, but also new social and ethical challenges. We need to face this issue carefully to make sure technology benefits everyone without causing harm. Lastly, proceed to responsible innovation and regulation of emerging technologies. Technology, benefits, and responsibility. New technologies like AI improve many parts of our lives, from healthcare to energy. They help us work smarter and solve problems faster. But they also bring challenges like privacy, risk, job loss, and inequality. That's why technology needs to be used carefully and fairly guided by human rights. We also share responsibility by protecting our data using tech wisely and making sure it helps, not harm. Lastly, technology should empower people and build a better and fairer world for everyone.
So this is the references, guys, where we gather the informations. These references are clickable, and when you click it, you'll be taken directly to the actual website, just like that. To wrap this up, the relationship between humanity and technology has always been like a dance, sometimes in harmony, sometimes out of step, but always moving forward. From its Greek root in techne and logos to the rise of AI and robotics today, Technology has transformed from simple tools into powerful systems that shape almost every part of our lives. It helps us work faster, connect easier, and even solve global problems like climate change and healthcare. What once felt impossible is now part of our everyday routine. But technology is a double edged sword. Alongside its benefits, they raise serious ethical and social concerns, including privacy risk, job displacement, dependence on machines, and widening digital divide. These concerns reminds us that technology itself isn't good or bad. It all depends on how we humans choose to design, use, and regulate it.
That's why the intersection of science, technology, and society isn't just about progress. It's about responsibility. Every innovation should be guided by ethics, human rights, and fairness to make sure that no one is left behind. Technology should never replace us humans. Instead, it should be our partner. In the end, the goal is clear to create a future that is not only smarter and more advanced, but also fairer, kinder, and truly human.